Hello everyone and welcome to Sparkling Autos. Nothing too serious or in depth in this video. I'm just going to do a quick maintenance wash. Well, I say a quick maintenance wash, which usually takes about 2 to 3 hours on my own car here. Which, as you can probably see from these shots, isn't really too bad. But then again, where's it written down that the car has to be dirty for you to clean it? And the products I'm going to use for this today are from a local firm here in Northern Ireland called Anachem Automotive Solutions. I'll put a link below if you want to check their website out. And full disclosure, I didn't actually buy these products. They were won in a competition by my friend Graham at GM Details, whose channel I've mentioned a few times. But rather than have them posted over to Scotland, he decided that maybe I should take the products, and in agreement, if I ever win any products from any Scottish-based suppliers, I'll have them sent to him. See, we're just thinking about the environment here. Now, this is actually the first time I've had the opportunity to use these products, so I'm quite looking forward to it. I have Articulate, which is a pre-wash solution. Then there's the Ultra Foam, which is obviously a snow foam, which says is an LSP Snafe, that's not even a word, an LSP safe snow foam. I'll then be using the shampoo, which is called Gleam, followed by Ultra Gloss, which is a high gloss rinse wax, and finally Hydro Clean, which is a hydrophobic glass cleaner. I was also sent the tyre dressing called Ultra Slick, but if you follow the channel you know that I'm currently doing a long-term test with Garage Therapy's tyre serum, so I won't be using the tyre dressing today. And although I said at the start that the car may not have been that dirty, I did neglect to mention that some sort of giant bird or Pegasus or pterodactyl has crapped over the side of the car, which is what led me to have to wash the car today. And if you've just eaten or you're about to, I'd advise you to look away now for the next 5 to 10 seconds, as no amount of soaking kitchen roll in water is going to shift this. First thing we need to do then, before we even think about washing the rest of the car, is to get rid of that crap from the side. And as with any cleaning stage, the first thing you want to do is remove as much of it as possible with water. So what I did initially was spray it, leave the water to soak in for 30 to 60 seconds, and then try to remove it with just the pressure. Which I knew wasn't going to work, but thought we would do it for demonstration purposes anyway. And the thinking behind this is the same as you were washing lasagna from a Pyrex dish. You rinse the loose stuff off first, and then let your washing up liquid penetrate it, which then makes the washing stage much less aggressive. And you should know by now, I like a weird analogy. Moving swiftly on then, it's time for a bit of chemical assistance. So Anachem Articulate is a pre-washed TFR, which can actually be diluted 1 part to 80 parts water. Now I've gone with 2%, which is 1 part to 50 parts water, as I knew I would need something just a little bit stronger. I wanted to give it a fighting chance against this stain. Sprayed it on, and again left it to soak for 30 to 60 seconds. I will be doing the rest of the car, I just wanted to concentrate on this part for now. And as you can see here on the glass and the top of the door, it came off with no issues whatsoever. And even on the pillar, it just took a little bit of pressure for a few seconds and it came off as well. The only sticky part was really around that sort of soft plastic part of the door frame. But even then it just took an extra couple of seconds. And now I can go ahead and coat the rest of the car. Now you'll probably notice there I made up about 1.5 litres of the solution. That's enough to do 2 or 3 cars. And the pump sprayer itself's nothing fancy. It's one I got from Amazon for $7.99 because I'm quite tight and I like to keep my budget low. And also it does the job. I get round the full car in 30 to 40 pumps, and there's a trigger lock on it, so yeah, it does exactly what I need. And without sounding like a salesman, I'll put a link for this below, as with all the products I use in my videos, including all my camera gear. But getting back to the job in hand, so once you've covered the entire car, leave it to dwell for 2 or 3 minutes, and then you're ready to cover it in your snow foam. So on we move to the snow foam, which according to the instructions can be diluted 1 part with up to 25 parts water, which works out at 40 ml per litre. Now, I don't know about you, but that's possibly the boldest dilution ratio I've ever come across in a snow foam. I'm not saying it wouldn't work at that ratio, but I didn't use it at that. I've used it at 1 to 15, so about 50 ml in 750 mils. I'm not saying it won't work, I will try it in the future. I just didn't want to have to go over the car again today. But it's definitely something I'm intrigued about, and I will try in the future because I want to see can it actually clean at that ratio. I should also mention that it does state that that is when it's used in conjunction with the Articulate pre-wash. Anyway, moving on, because the video is going faster than I can talk. So the wheels I've just done with the Garage Therapy 1 wheel shampoo, 10ml in a 750ml foam pump sprayer. And I'm just giving the 4 wheel faces and tyres a quick once over. As I said, I'm doing a long term test on the tyre serum, so I don't want anything to affect that. And actually doing the wheels this way has inadvertently tested the dwell time of the Ultrafoam, which, as you can see in the next shot, hasn't completely dried in, but I wouldn't want to leave it on much longer. Now these are quite cool dampish conditions as well, so that would help. I would say if it was warmer, I wouldn't have had time to go around all 4 wheels. And in terms of the performance of the TFR and the snow foam, I must say I'm very impressed. The car came up very, very well, considering it hasn't actually had any contact yet. Next then we move on to the shampoo, which is called Gleam. Now, this comes in 2 different scents. The one I have here, which is grape scented, or it comes in a cherry cola scent, which I won't lie, I'll be very interested in trying sometime. And the first thing you'll notice is the dispenser type. It's an absolutely fantastic idea. You literally squeeze the bottle to fill the dispenser cap at the top and just pour it in. It does state 1 to 2 doses, so I'm not sure if that was dependent on the size of your bucket, but as I use large wash buckets, I went with 2 doses. However, going by the amount of foam, next time I might actually dial it back to 1 because it did produce plenty of suds and was very slick. The bottle itself, I'm definitely going to keep after it's empty because it's just a fantastic idea for dispensing fluids. But never mind the bottle, what about the shampoo itself? Well, initial impressions are very good. It was very slick, it was very sudsy. I'm not one to get overly excited by shampoos, I think I've mentioned that before, but yeah, no, it was very, very pleasant to use and actually really, really nice smell. Even my dad, who was standing in the garage behind the camera, commented on the smell and just how pleasant it was, and he was probably 20-30 feet away. So the usual wash process, I'm not going to bore you with the details every time, panel at a time, different mitts for different sections of the car, blah blah blah, you've heard it all before. Just remember to go deep into that bucket when you're picking your suds up. And you see here as it slides along the roof, just how slick the shampoo actually is. I know I've already mentioned about the suddiness and the slickness of it, but that's why I'm saying I would probably dial back, because about an hour after I had washed the car, there was actually still plenty of suds in the wash bucket. So I think 1 dose would have been more than enough. And I can't wash a car without the obligatory pad flip. Boom, there we go. And just to say that, yep, shampoo performed as expected. Very good, impressed, I'll use it again. Now just to rinse the car off, so nothing I'm going to spend too long on, but I will say that the shampoo, as slick and as sudsy as it was, very, very easy to rinse off the car, as was the snow foam TFR solution. Very easy to remove. I must say, initial impressions of all these products are very good. And I'm not just saying that because it's a local brand, I'm definitely going to be using this again and possibly try more items from the range. To rinse the car off, I'm using my trusty Karcher K4. Now if you're a subscriber to the channel, you may have seen a recent video I did comparing this with my older machine, the K2. And if you're not a subscriber, I don't know what else to say to you other than go and be a subscriber. And if you do decide to do that, don't forget to click the bell so you get notifications for any future videos that are released. And of course, any videos you do watch, don't forget to press the thumbs up and leave any comments you want below. So before I dry the car off, I want to apply some of the Ultra Gloss High Gloss Spray Wax, which as far as I can tell works like a spray on, rinse off, rinse aid. So as you can see from the bonnet here, there's absolutely zero protection, none whatsoever on the car. So you mix this up in a trigger spray, or spray bottle of some sorts at 1 to 10, and then just spray it over the panel. Now what I didn't do at the time, it does actually say to start at the top of the car and cover the whole vehicle before rinsing it off, which will obviously give it more of a bonding time, I suppose. I didn't give it that, but I did give it about 30 seconds or so, and then rinsed it off. But even at that, as you can see here, it's given the car some instant protection, possibly improved the gloss levels, but who can tell on a grey damp day. And in terms of durability, I've no idea, it doesn't even make any durability claims. At the end of the day, it's a spray and rinse product, but it's certainly going to make drying the car a much easier process. and make it easier to dry is exactly what it did do. So you'll see here, usual process, dry the glass first, that way the damp towel will absorb the water from the wet bodywork. I'm not claiming to be a scientist here, I just know that's how it works. So go around and do all the glass and then work your way from the top of the car to the bottom. And the first thing I noticed when drying off the roof was just how easily the drying towel glided over the paintwork. And that's important because the less friction there is in the towel, the less chance there is of it marring the paintwork and causing any light swirl marks and scratches. And for that reason, I have to give Ultra Gloss a thumbs up. I'm not a very frequent user of dry and rinse products, but this one has definitely impressed me, and the fact that it's dilutable makes it even better. I can see the advantage of using products like this if you're stuck for time, or maybe in the winter time when you don't want to be out at the car for 3 or 4 hours. You just want to spray it, rinse it off and dry the car quickly. Something like this is a very good product, and I would recommend this one even after one use. The final Anachem product I'm using today is HydroClean Hydrophobic Glass Cleaner, and to be perfectly honest, of all the products I used today, this probably was not the worst, that's a wrong word to use, but certainly the least impressive. Now there's nothing majorly wrong with it, there was just a couple of issues where I've used better products. Here for example, there was a grubby mark on the inside of the driver's window and it just wouldn't shift it on the first pass. I had to just put an extra bit on the finger in the end of my cloth and just go at it again with a couple of rubs to get it. Whereas I've other glass cleaners there that would just take that off in 1 or 2 wipes. But I don't want to be too negative after having such a positive outlook for the whole video up to now. But at the same time, I have to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this is the greatest glass cleaner I've used, when it isn't. It's grand, it does the job, the glass was clean when it finished. I have just used better glass cleaners, that's all. I also found it possibly a little bit grabby when trying to buff it off. Maybe that's to do with whatever the chemicals making the hydrophobic properties, I don't know, I'm not a chemist. But I just found it just a wee bit grabby, particularly on the windscreen here when I was trying to buff it. But at the end of the day, apart from a little bit extra effort on my part, the glass still looked well inside and out. And as for the hydrophobic properties, well, my glass has a sealant on it, so it's hard to really tell. But I will use this again on something untreated just to see what those properties are like and how long it lasts. Finally then we move on to a finishing product, and for this I'm using ODK Exhibit Gloss Enhancer. Now, this isn't the type of product I would normally use, like a short-term finishing spray, but you may be aware if you follow me on Instagram that my friend Vicky has recently opened a store, RAZE Automotive, in Korean. And just to show my support for this new venture, I decided to purchase something that I wouldn't normally get, and this is what I went for. But before I go too far into the product, I just want to put your mind at rest that you don't have to live in Korean or the local area here to check out RAZE Automotive. They have a website, razeautomotive.com, and if you go to their website and use the code SPARK10, you'll get 10% off everything in the store, which includes their exclusive clothing line. So what about this ODK Gloss Enhancer? Well, as I said, this isn't typically the type of product I normally use. I would go for kind of long-term sealant, something that I'm going to get 2 or 3 months out of at the very least. Whereas this even says on that you're only going to get a few weeks of protection. It's there more as a show product, just to add that bit of extra gloss and make the car look a bit shinier when you're finished. And I must say in that regard, I was very impressed. Very easy to use, a couple of sprays under your cloth to prime it, a couple of sprays in each panel, spread it over and then just buff it off. Nothing particularly unusual, but I did like the finish. Left it very slick and very glossy. Just make sure when you set the bottle down you don't drop it. And if you do drop it, pick it up again. Now, over the course of the next few months, I may actually start using more products like this for the channel, just so I can test a few different things and see what they're like. Not the sort of thing you'd want to use in the winter, but certainly for a summer product, you want that bit of extra gloss and visual appeal when you've cleaned the car. And then after a few weeks, it'll have worn off and I can apply something completely different. But I must say, from a person who doesn't normally apply these types of products, this Exhibit from ODK was a very easy product to use. I got around the whole car in, I would say, about 10-15 minutes max. Very simple, very effective, and I probably will use it again at some point, I'm sure. So there we are then, not much left to say other than the Anachem products did a great job at cleaning the car, and the ODK Exhibit Gloss Enhancer I think did a brilliant job at finishing it off. This is never going to be a show winning car, but I don't think it looks too bad for an 11-year-old motorway cruiser. I'm quite pleased with the results, and apart from that toe and eye at the front which I mentioned, I think the car looks pretty well. Anyway, that's all I have to say for this one. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please do press the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell for notification of future videos. Leave any comments you want below, and as always, I'll respond to them as soon as I can. Thanks again, and until the next time, take care.